All right, ready? I'm getting ready to start my day here. So I just got out of the shower. I thought I would do a really quick beard update on the summer. I have not done anything to my beard this summer. I made a point of just washing it and putting some beard butter in it. I do typically cut my cheeks in, but what I've been doing over the last couple weeks is I let it go as high as it can go, as close to a line as possible, if that makes sense. Like, so I have, hair up here and up here, but it's all like, sparse. So what I've done the last few weeks is just let it, wherever the faint line stops, that's the line I keep. And then I trim just a few hairs that are, outside that line. Now, this line I have, I'll try to see if I can get up closer in a second. It stops about right here. It doesn't connect with the mustache this high. I usually have one where it connects here, but I've been letting it just kind of be a natural thing. So it kind of stops here, and then there's a little gap right here. That's pretty high. I've seen guys like that, but where it attaches literally at the top of their mustache. But over the years, that area for me has been filling in more and more. The more I don't shave it, the more I notice growth in that area, and I've made tons of videos on my theory behind that. I do believe that there are hairs on your face that run on such a big cycle that if you shave that part of your face all the time, you may not ever see them even grow in. Because as a hair does grow in, there's a bunch of cycles of maturity that need to go through before you actually see them. So I have my own theories on how to grow the best beard that you can, and one of them is to just let it all go for like 6 months to a year. Most people don't like that because you're going to look like a hobo for pretty much that time, but that really is the only way to have a good indicator of what you have to go with. Most common videos have you trim it into a shape after a month or so. Well, that's not nearly long enough to see what you got to work for. Again, in many of my videos, I mentioned how when I first started growing a beard, I didn't have any real hair underneath my lip except for just a little patch. I haven't touched this area ever. Anytime I have trimmed my beard, it's always been from here. I did a couple years back take the sides down and had one of the really big giant goatees, but for the most part I haven't ever touched this area because this area only gets so long on me. Some people, I guess, it continues to grow, but not for me. It only gets to be about 2 inches long, but it has completely filled in. But I don't touch it because I don't know how long it would take for it to grow back. So I leave this area just alone all the time. If I do trim anything, it's down here, but I have not trimmed the beard at all for the entire summer, and I don't think it's been about a year since I've done any trimming at all. I am doing my best to get the long beard. Something always happens along the way. I get a wild hair up my ass and I end up trimming it back. But so far this year, in the summer, I have fought it. So let's see if I can get up close here. See what I'm talking about with the cheeks. You can see they come down, but then they don't connect all the way up with the mustache that high up. But I do think that looks kind of cool anyway. Over here, I don't know if I'm facing the camera right, but kind of comes down and then there is a little bit of a gap. But that doesn't really bother me as it grows in. And if I were to comb my mustache out a little bit, it literally looks like it connects almost at the top of my mustache, which is pretty high. But again, just wanted to make a really quick video on the beard so far. I do typically comb it forward like this throughout the day, but like I said, it's still wet, just got out of the shower. And I typically sit during the day and just kind of do this all day anyway, kind of pull it forward. But I don't trim the neck, I don't trim the back, any of this area back here. I leave it all alone. Now there are a few places, like obviously I shave my head. There are a few spots back, like close to where this tattoo is, where there is some sparse hair, and I will tend to knock that down with trimmers when I'm doing the back of my neck and stuff. So but wherever the main growth is on the beard, I leave that. I don't cut any artificial lines in. The one thing I do is I don't trim the mustache length, but what I do is the very ends, I don't like them when they start to kind of come down over top of the beard. I like the mustache to kind of look like it's part of the beard, but at the same time, I do want the mustache to be as full as possible. I do twist it and cut any of the length off here. That's just a personal preference. That's not really affecting, you know, the overall size of the beard. I just want it to look like it's all one piece, not separated from the beard. Now that does look cool when guys do that. I just don't personally like it for me. But yeah, that's the only trimming I do. A couple, like, just to reiterate, just the little tips of the mustache every month or so, get the sparse ends that start to like poke up. I do take off just the higher cheek hairs that kind of go up on their own, because what I have, my beard, it comes down the sideburn and then it kind of comes up back down to this line and then up a little bit, so it's like two little heartbeats on both sides, and I just knock those off to give it, you know, some semblance of a shape that's not completely just crazy. So anyway, hopefully these videos help anybody who's been watching them. If you're on the same journey, again, something I like to point out that I've learned through this process of growing a beard for like 10 years, don't beat yourself up if you make a mistake with your beard. You can always fix it. So if you screw up a cheek line, don't shave the whole beard off. The sides will grow in faster. I would recommend, if you really like take a big chunk out of your cheek line, take the sides down, like leave as much of your goatee as possible, take the sides down, you know, to a stubble, and then let the sides naturally grow back in. They will grow back in really fast. When people look at you and they look at your beard, typically it's from the front on and they don't really notice the sides. I was watching this TV show. I love anything Viking. My ancestors are from that area. So I was watching Vikings Valhalla, and if you haven't seen it, it's like takes place like many years after the original Viking series, when the Vikings are basically torn between the old gods and becoming Christians. And one of the main Christian Vikings, he's a thin guy with a bald head, but he's got this massive beard. When you look at it from the front, he's got this big mustache, this massive beard. But then when they show him from the sides, he has barely any growth on the sides of his cheeks. But because that overwhelming goatee of a beard he has, it takes your eyes away from the fact that he doesn't have a lot on the side. So if you're one of those people that the cheeks and stuff are a little sparse, just know that you can make up for it by growing the front bigger. Because again, if they're not looking at you completely from the side, most people just see that big front on beard anyway. But enough rambling on. Again, thanks for watching if you are. And I'm going to make another video hopefully today or tomorrow on the complete modding of my 2022 TRD Tacoma. I'm hoping to get my rear LED taillights in, and once those are in, I'm pretty much done. So anyway, thanks for watching. Later.